3, 2, and 1.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday morning. And I'm so happy to be here speaking to all of you about something that I'm very passionate about, which is art therapy. Art therapy is a fairly new career path. It's a fairly new profession. It's just under 100 years old. Um, and as it was introduced, it's a form of psychotherapy that uses the creative process and creative expression to take care of our emotional and mental health. So I'm just going to be sharing my screen because I have a presentation. Okay, so today we are going to be learning about what art therapy is, who art therapy can be used for, who can benefit from art therapy, and what are the ways in which someone can become an art therapist. So I'm sure all of us have had some experience with art making, thanks to schools and thanks to maybe our hobbies. Art therapy is very, very different from that. It respects the individual's own creative process. It doesn't teach them how to make art, but it respects their own inner wisdom that comes out as they engage in their own creative process. So, what is art therapy? It's a form of psychotherapy for individuals and for groups. So, psychotherapy is any kind of therapy that focuses on emotional and mental well being of a person or of a community. Art therapy, it provides a safe space to explore emotions and relationships through art media. Now, how the safety is created is through the therapeutic relationship between the therapist and the client, where the client or the person involved in therapy, they feel safe enough to open up their deepest emotions, and they feel like they will not be judged, they will not be blamed, and there will be no like extreme negative consequences of them sharing their emotions, and their emotions won't be used against them. So oftentimes when we feel powerful emotions, it's difficult for us to find the right words to express them, or find the right vocabulary to express them with. So it really helps to give those emotions a visual form that is tangible, that you can see, that you can sort of externalize. So you can get it out of your body and it's in front of you and you can see it. And that really helps you understand and process it. So the emotions that are expressed, they're given a visual form. And together with the therapist, you'll be exploring those. So our therapists can work with all age groups, literally any age group, and our therapists can work with, even young babies. So when I work with very young children, I usually work with the child and the parent. So we use that dyad and we work on the parent-child relationship. But I can work with children, adolescents, and adults. One question that I always get is, I don't know how to do art properly. I'm not good at drawing. Can I still take part in art therapy? You absolutely can, because I'm not an art teacher. My concern is not how beautiful your drawing looks. My concern is what part of yourself are you expressing through this artwork? I'm more interested in that. So no prior skill in art is needed. The aesthetic value or the beauty of the art, it's not judged at all. Art therapy's goal is to effect change and growth on a personal level through the art materials. So based on what you create, what you make, how it affects you, your own relationship to your artwork, that's what is focused on. And through this process, the hope is that the people engaging in art therapy will be able to understand themselves better and will be better equipped and empowered to support themselves. So now we will look at how art therapy can help the different age groups. And because each age group has its own very specific challenges. Challenges for a child will not be the same as challenges for an adult. Similarly, it won't be the same as challenges for a teenager because they're all going through different stages and different emotions in life. So let's start with children. Children, they don't have a language for emotions just yet. I mean, your emotional processing and finding the right vocabulary and language, it happens up here in the frontal lobe of the brain. And the way the brain develops is it starts developing from the back to the middle and then to the front. So your frontal lobe is something that is the last thing to be developed, and it usually develops in late adolescence to early adulthood. So it's around your early 20s where your frontal lobe is fully functional and developed. So this is where we feel most of the emotions, the back and in the middle of the brain. So we begin to feel the emotions before we begin to process and understand them. And how children learn to process and understand their emotions is when adults are there to guide them through the process. So if your child is feeling those emotions, they will not know what to call it. They will not have a name. So if, for example, they're feeling sad, they're going to start crying. They will feel the emotions in their body. The body will respond, but they will not know that this feeling is called sadness. So when an adult is able to say, oh, you dropped your ice cream, and that's why you're feeling sad, that's when the child begins to think, oh, so this feeling that I'm feeling is sadness. Okay, now I know how to process it if it comes up again. And for children, they problem solving without words really appeals to them because words can be confusing and it takes a lot for them to understand what words mean. So art making and even other forms of creative therapy like music therapy or dance therapy can really help them process and understand their emotions. So in my work with children, a lot of the times their emotions come out through the artwork, and then we sit with them and I say, oh, you know what, this really looks like anger. And then the kid goes, yes, I was feeling angry when I made this. And that's how they begin to understand the emotion. It provides a more spontaneous non-verbal means of communication. It's almost like play. Play is a child's work. They don't tell their parents, Mom and Dad, I'm having a bad day. Will you come and talk to me about it? They're going to say, will you come play with me? That's how they figure things out. The child's internal world, their attachment patterns to their caregivers, and their early infantile experiences are given a voice. There are a lot of times where art therapists have worked with children where their early infantile experiences, maybe they were abandoned, or maybe they, came across some birth trauma where they had to be put in an incubator. And that really affected their emotional world. All of those things were able to come out through the artwork and they were able to be addressed. So various behavioral, physiological, and emotional concerns can be addressed using art therapy. There are a lot of times where children's emotions, I mean, all of our emotions, they definitely affect the body, but more so for children because they don't have the words just yet. So an anxious child may not be able to say, Mommy, I'm anxious, but they'll say, Mommy, I have a stomach ache and I don't want to go to school. So it would be useful to probe more into their emotional world if things like this keep coming up. Now for adolescents, teenage, what a wonderful time. I would not want to go back to teenage. um, so they are transitioning from children to adults. It's a weird place where they want to be. I can see people are drawing on the board already. I like that. They're already engaging in the creative process. Um, so for teenagers and adolescents, it's a weird time. They're not children, but they're not adults, and they're somewhere in between. They want the independence, they want that responsibility, but they can't really handle it just yet. And they're going through a growth spurt. They have all these hormones coming up in their body, and they're experiencing a lot of new emotions that they don't really know how to handle. They are prone to intense emotional confusion, vulnerability, and distress. And they find it really difficult to contain that within themselves and their life. And because they find it very difficult to contain these emotions, they often act out. They engage in substance misuse or self harm, eating disorders, violent mood swings. So art therapy provides a very safe space for these feelings to be expressed, processed, and managed healthily. So the therapist would be able to reflect these things back to the client and, make them realize that, oh, when I feel this, I'm doing this. Let me try doing the healthier thing instead. For adults, For adults, it's a very different thing. We tend to use a lot of words to rationalize and intellectualize our emotions instead of actually just feeling the emotion. I think a lot of times when we feel sad, we try and talk our way out of the feeling, or when we feel upset, instead of just having a good cry about whatever's making us upset, we
Right.
tend to keep telling ourselves, no, 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 it's okay. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm okay. I'm okay. But when we do that, we're not actually feeling the feeling. And when we refuse to feel that, the feeling doesn't disappear. It doesn't just go away. It comes out in some other form of the body, either through illness or stress or acting out. Now, with adulthood, the higher the responsibilities, the more emotional complexity in your life. And sometimes there are so many of them that it's really, really difficult to explain and articulate how and why you feel that way. So, art therapy, it effectively supports personal and relational treatment goals as well as community concerns. So, for example, maybe the community that the adult is a part of is genuinely concerned about him or her, because they might have noticed that they're isolating themselves, they're not taking part in many activities, and so all these things can be addressed. It also provides a safe space to de stress, address struggles, and discuss effective coping strategies. And I think sometimes it's very, very useful to have a space where you can just let go of everything and you don't have to be anyone's anything. Like for an hour a week, if you can have a time and a space where you don't have to be anybody's parent or brother or, child, it can really take a lot of stress off of your shoulders. Art therapy improves cognitive functions. It helps in fostering self esteem and self awareness. It cultivates emotional resilience by, helping you sit with your feelings and feel them. It really increases your tolerance for uncomfortable emotions, and it makes you more patient with them. And it helps you approach them with kindness and empathy instead of defensiveness. It helps promoting insight into your own life. It enhances your social skills. It helps reduce and resolve conflicts and distress. And it advances societal and ecological change. Okay, Aishu, art therapy sounds nice, but I can just make art on my own at home. I can buy art materials for my children and they can use them on their own. And I won't have to pay some therapist lady to sit with my child while they make art.
Right.
And art therapy is said to be non directive, which means you don't teach them art. So you won't really do anything in the room with them. Why do I need an art therapist to be present? What is the importance of making art in the presence of an art therapist? What is my role in that whole process? The underlying goal of art therapy is to improve or restore a client's functioning and their personal feelings of well being. It's not just an hour where you use art materials and have fun. It can be a very fun process, but the actual goal is to improve your overall functioning, mental, social, emotional, all of that. So the art therapist encourages the client to engage in the creative process and to explore their feelings and to enjoy the pleasures of making art without being judged. Because when you make art in that free form way, without getting any directions from somebody else and knowing that whatever you make is not going to be judged, I truly believe that a very core part of yourself gets expressed in that artwork. And then when you experience that, when that deep part of yourself is being expressed and it's met with acceptance instead of judgment, real effective change happens. And when you're in an environment where you feel accepted, that can help you accept yourself more. Art therapists work with clients to dive into the underlying messages communicated through their art. So, whatever you're trying to communicate through this art making, that is what is explored and looked at. And this works with a combination of psychotherapeutic counseling techniques, which I'm trained to do, to promote personal development, foster self awareness, and build effective coping skills for life stresses. So, what I am trained to do: talk with clients during the art therapy sessions to build a rapport, acknowledge their progress, or help them reflect upon their reactions to the artistic process. I will help provide guided self expression experiences to help clients recover from or cope with cognitive, emotional, behavioral, or physical difficulties. And I'll design the art therapy sessions or programs to meet the client's needs and treatment objectives. So, for example, if I have someone who is very, very concerned about making a mess, like they want to engage in the art making process, but they're scared and they really don't want to make a mess at all. And they don't want to get paint on their hands, and the messes just make them very anxious. So I will design the art therapy room by laying papers on the floor or a large sheet to cover the table or the furniture. And I would offer them gloves so that they can engage fully in the process without worrying about getting paint on their hands. This is just one example out of the many. And when you do this, when you design the art therapy session specifically for that person, they feel heard and they feel listened to and they feel that their needs are being met. And who doesn't love that? I'm also trained to write treatment plans, write case summaries, or progress reports related to individual clients or client groups. So many a times I have written reports for schools where I have spoken with teachers about how best to support the student in the classroom, or I have written summaries for adults and teenagers who wish to see the progress that they have made. I also observe and I document client reactions, their progress, or any other outcomes related to art therapy. So someone might feel that they have better concentration when they're at work or they're at school after engaging in art therapy. Or someone might feel that they are better able to manage and control their anger and healthily express that anger without hurting themselves or anybody else after speaking with me and making some art about it in the art therapy room. I also feedback observations to the multidisciplinary therapeutic team working with the client. So Where I work right now, Steps Rehabilitation Center, we are a multidisciplinary team with physiotherapists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, and clinical psychologists. So many times, one client will be taking multiple services. So I will have to feedback my own observations to the team. And that really helps all of us take care of the client in a very holistic way. Okay, so here are some common myths about art therapy that I have
Aisha,
heard personally. Myth
Aisha,
one. Yes.
you know, the audience here has a mix of adults as well as adolescent as well as children. Now,
Yes.
I'm seeing the screens of most of the parents, so with the children sitting ready with all the things that you've asked them, to be prepared with.
Yes.
Now, my own kid is asking when soon, as soon as when the teacher is going to start this session for us, because we
Mm-hmm.
want to really dive into the session.
Okay.
So I was telling my son that being patient is also a part of the therapy, and you need to learn
100%.
patience.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I was going to address that. I can see a lot of kids
yeah.
eagerly waiting, some putting their aprons on with all their art materials ready. And I love that. I love seeing all of that. But I will have to speak to your moms and dads for, let me see what the time is now, for maybe another 10 minutes. And then we can get into the art making. Okay? How does that sound, kids? Okay, I'm seeing lots of nodding heads. Okay, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate all your patience. You're sitting so nicely and you're listening, even though you may not understand everything. I really appreciate it. And I promise we're going to be starting the artwork very, very soon. Okay, so I just need
Thank you,
10 more
Aisha.
minutes.
Thank you.
Yes? Was someone saying something?
Carry on.
Okay, all right. Thank you for pointing that out. I wanted to address all the kids looking up at me, so thank you for that. Okay, so here are some common myths about art therapy. The first myth is that art therapy is like an art class where you learn to make art. So here are the differences between art therapy and an art class. In art therapy, it is facilitated by a professionally trained art therapist, whereas an art class is facilitated by an art teacher or an instructor. They're not usually trained in psychotherapy or in counseling techniques. An art therapy environment, it involves a therapeutic relationship where the therapist works hard to make sure that the client feels safe, feels listened to, and feels heard. Whereas in an art class, it involves a student teacher relationship where the teacher may not really be focusing a lot on the student's mental health and what their mental needs are. In art therapy, it takes place in a safe and a confidential space where whatever is made and discussed in an art therapy room, it stays in that room. It's not portrayed out for the world to see. I don't talk to my family or my friends about it. It stays in that room. An art class, it takes place in a classroom or a studio space, and there's no confidentiality that's maintained. So the teacher is really free to share all the work that is done by the students, and they are under no obligation to keep it confidential. In art therapy, the main goal is self-expression. That's what you're focusing on, how you're able to effectively and safely express yourself and get to know yourself better. In art class, the goal is to learn how to make something, is to learn a new skill. In art therapy, the art supplies are used as tools for self expression. Whereas in an art class, the art supplies are used in a specific way to accomplish the task at hand. In art therapy, there's no right or wrong way to make things or to use art materials. So if you're using a pencil to put glue on paper instead of using it to draw, I'm not going to step in and say, oh no, that's the wrong way to use it. I'm going to hold a space for you to figure out how you want to use the materials, how that links into how you want to express yourself. And however you choose to use the materials is respected. In an art class, there will be a certain recommended technique or a right way to do things where you will be corrected. And if you're using it in the wrong way, you will be judged on to some level, you will be judged. In art therapy, the focus is usually on the creative process. It's process over product. It's how engaging with the art materials made you feel about yourself. Um, in an art class, the focus is usually on the final art product. Of course, they're going to comment on the process that you use and how you're using the techniques, but the focus is usually on the outcome, is on what you make. In art therapy, the artwork is seen as a reflection or an extension of its creator, and it's used for communication and expression. Whereas in an art class, the artwork is evaluated for its formal qualities based on the elements and principles of design and color and fine art making techniques. So, myth two, art therapy is for artists only. Art therapy does not require any prior artistic skill or experience. We use the process as a process to effect change and growth. Not being good at art, it will not impact your ability to participate and benefit from art therapy. People with little or no art experience often find art therapy freeing and insightful. Not having to perform your art, not having to make art in a specific way can actually be really, really freeing, and you can engage with it more playfully. Myth three, art therapy is just for kids or people who can't communicate or can't use, words to communicate. Art is a powerful way to engage people of all ages in an expressive and transformative process. Children are often very receptive to art therapy as they are drawn to the opportunity to be creative and problem solve without words. We looked at this earlier when we looked at how art therapy can benefit children. Art therapy can be a powerful way to work with people who find verbal communication difficult or impossible in some cases, but it's not limited to those populations. In fact, the verbal processing of the art therapy experience can be an important part of the process. So, talking about what you've made after you've made it, it really, really helps and and it actually engages the frontal lobe development of verbally processing your emotions. So after the emotions come out, you're able to find the words to create a cohesive narrative about your emotional experience. Art therapists are skilled in adapting the therapeutic process to whatever age, needs, and abilities the client brings. We are extremely flexible. One of our core abilities is to improvise based on what the client's needs are. So art therapy can literally be used by anybody or and everybody. Okay, art therapists know what you are thinking by looking at your artwork. The number of times people have drawn something on a restaurant napkin or on a notepad and held it up to me and said, Aishu, what am I thinking? Do you know what I'm thinking? That's not how art therapy works. No one can know what you're thinking by looking at something that you drew or created. An art therapist will work together with you so you can understand and derive meaning from the symbols and images created. So it's more important about what you think about your artwork, not what I think about it, because it's your process. There may be multiple ways to interpret artwork, and an art therapist will bring up ideas to consider rather than tell you what to think. So I'll offer different perspectives, and it's up to you to choose whether you agree with them or not. And it's the job of an art therapist to be a respectful and supportive partner in therapy, not a detective to uncover your dark secrets. So anyone can call themselves an art therapist because it's not a real kind of therapy. Art therapy programs are nationally accredited, and art therapists have advanced training in psychotherapy, art processes, and therapeutic practice. Art therapy has been an established profession for more than 50 years, and training and practice are guided by professional associations and standards. So I hold a master's in art therapy, and I am accredited by the UK Health and Care Professions Council. And I have to renew my membership every 2 years, and I have to prove to them that I've been doing my own continual professional education, and I've been doing my reading and updating my skills. So it is nationally accredited. Not everybody can call themselves an art therapist. There is a growing body of research to support the practice of art therapy, which is used around the world to help people who are experiencing depression, relationship issues, anxiety, spiritual distress, transitional issues, or any other mental health challenges. In fact, it's also used quite effectively to manage pain and pain symptoms in people with chronic pain, autoimmune diseases, people going through chemotherapy for cancer. So, how I work in my center is I will offer weekly individual or group art therapy sessions, and regular reports and reviews will be scheduled so that we can update ourselves on the progress made. I will be focusing on emotional and psychological goals that the client can achieve. For example, capacity to form and maintain relationships, ability to tolerate frightening emotions, motivation to resolve problems and difficulties. Kids, just a few more minutes and we're going to start drawing, okay? I can see everyone's very excited. I love that excitement. I'll be able to model healthy behavior and will be able to support the clients while they learn how to cope and manage their emotions independently. Let's make some art. Oh, I can see some kids smiling and putting their hands up. I love that. Okay. Do the adults have any questions or comments or anything that they would like me to address right now? Okay. All right. I will be giving a feedback form at the end of our workshop today. And if you have anything that comes up that you would like me to address, or you have any suggestions, you can put that on that form. Okay. So today we are going to be doing something called a tree of strength. Okay. So kids, this is for you as well. We're going to be making a tree, and in the leaves of the tree, we're going to be writing all those things that help us stay strong. Because right now it's a very difficult time, isn't it? With the online school, and you can't go out anywhere, and it is very, very difficult. So we need to remind ourselves and look at all the ways in which we are staying very, very strong during a very difficult time. So, what I want you to do is take a sheet of paper, and using your hand, put your hand on the paper, okay? And draw a tree, like the trunk of the tree, like this, like this. Oops. Okay? Adults can join in as well, by the way, and everyone can join in. In times of a lot of crisis and a lot of stress, which I'm sure everybody is experiencing right now because we're in a pandemic, we're in a global health crisis. We tend to find ourselves trapped in this stress and anxious cycle of what's going to happen, how am I going to take care of things, am I going to be okay, is my family going to be okay, and it's a lot of anticipatory anxiety. And it's especially difficult because nobody knows how this is going to end or when this is going to end. We have zero clue about what the future holds for us. And I find that, especially in times like this, it really helps to focus on all the things in our life that are stable right now, that do give us a lot of strength, and they do give us a lot of energy to keep carrying on every single day. So it could be your family, looking at your kids, thinking, you know what, I'm going to keep going for them. Or it could be group prayer, group meditation, or singing. Um, it could be making sure that you plan your day effectively and properly. Maybe that helps. Or music. So it could be one thing, it could be a million things. But it really helps to remind ourselves about all these things that give us strength and to appreciate their role, the role that they play in our lives. So the reason I picked this directive is so that all of us can, become a bit more aware of all the things that we do have, and feel some gratitude for them. Because I think it's very, very useful. It's a useful emotion. Okay, has everybody finished drawing their tree? You can show it up to the screen. I would like to see it if you want to show me. Okay, so once you're done making your trunk and the branches, you can draw leaves like this. You can make big leaves, small leaves, different shaped leaves. If you want your tree to have leaves that look like stars, that's completely okay. If you want your leaves to look like Mickey Mouse, that is also okay. It's your tree. You decide how to make it. And I would invite all of you to write the things that give you strength in those leaves. You can either write it using words, or you can make a little image about it, or you can use different colors to represent it. It's completely up to you how you choose to express that.
What should we basically write in it?
What you need to write is all the things that make you feel strong, that make you feel happy in your life right now. Can you think of some things to write in there?
Okay.
Okay. All the adults, I would invite you to engage in this as well. I can see so many kids engaging in it, and I love that. Children respond very well to art making. I can see Mr. Sandeep Mehta showing his tree. Lovely. So many leaves. And you've written something on the trunk as well. Excellent. Thank you for sharing.
हाँ मैं बना रहा हूँ ना देखो मैंने अपना
लेट शेयर मत करो, जल्दी करके बनाओ इसे.
ओके
Shunu, come here. What do you want, baby? Take it. You want it? Take it.
Navya showing her work as well.
I also have to color, Mama.
Wow.
I also have to color.
Thank you for sharing. You can also color in your trees, by the way.
लोग बिना कलर के शेयर करते हैं ना.
मैं भी दिखा देती हूँ
It
फिर.
doesn't have to be only green or brown. It can be
Yeah.
whatever colors you want it to be.
Mama. I'll make my own dish.
The teacher will tell you the name for that. Tell her. Tell her. What do you like to do and what aren't you like? Ask her.
Can I request that I think it's Uncle Abhinav to mute his audio so that everybody can have a quiet experience of art making? I think it was unmuted by accident.
Ajay, can you mute all the participants?
Oh yeah, if that's possible, if someone can override and mute everybody, that would be helpful. That's okay. I've unmuted myself. Yeah.
Teacher?
Mm-hmm. Wait, who is this? I'm looking for your video.
Arjun.
Yes, tell me. You made 2 trees?
No, this is my son and me.
Wow.
I'm shy.
Hello.
Hi, say
That's
hi.
okay. That's okay. If you don't want to come in the video, that's fine. You can just show.
Can we write junk art in our tree?
Junk art? Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I made a junk art right here.
What did you make?
It is a monster.
Wow, can I see it?
I can see a bat inside trees.
Yeah. Oh, that is very cool.
And I also drawed an owl.
That is very, very cool. Thank you for showing me, guys.
I was looking at this one. I thought it would look like a bat instead of when I think of a parrot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really tough. Asha teacher, I made my drawing.
Wow. Oh, that's such a big, strong tree.
I request all the participants to send their artwork in the family group with the name of the child who has drawn it, so that we can later on share it in the social media.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah,
That
and
would be
actually, I will
lovely.
send you the artwork as well. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would love that. Thank you. That's a very, very good idea. I see that Ambika is showing me her artwork. Wow, I love it. What a lovely tree. Thank you for showing me. Thank you. I like your pink t-shirt. Oh, look at you, you're dancing. You're happy. Thank you for showing me.
How is
Hang
it?
on. I'm finding.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ooh. Very cool. I can't see the bottom though. Can you hold it up a little bit? Yeah. Oh, wow. I love how strong the trunk is. Yeah. Are you gonna color it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see what it looks like after you've colored it.
Okay.
Thank you for showing me.
You're welcome.
Wow. That's a very, very cool tree.
There's a parrot, and there's a bat, and there's an owl.
Okay. So pirates, bats, and owls make you happy?
And who's on the leaf?
Leaf. My brother.
Oh, your brother's on the leaves. That's very sweet of you. That's so nice.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If the adults also want to share, you're more than welcome. This is your space as well.
This is Mama's tree. This is my tree.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Priya, can you share what are the things that makes your kid happy?
My kid happy?
Yeah.
My kid has written his brother's name.
Wow.
That
Okay.
makes him happy. My brother.
That is
And
so
Okay.
he's
sweet.
imagine what is going to be there on the tree.
Very sweet.
Very nice.
Very sweet.
Want to share what you wrote?
You want to show me?
And I wrote
Okay.
I wrote summer yoga, junk art, painting, studying.
Did Dad tell you to write studying? Or did you write studying?
Playing, football, traveling, riding, Rajani, watering plants.
Wow, that's so lovely. You like watering plants. Thank you for sharing. It was so nice to hear all of that. Thank you, Ashwati. Sorry, I just got to your video. Thank you for sharing. Oh.
The last one is the playing with toys.
Playing with toys is very important. Very, very important. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Ashwati. It was lovely to see your tree.
Navya, you want to share what are the things that make you happy?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
End of Corona.
Yes.
I like to play chess. And new room. I like to go to my sister. Art. Then enough, I think.
Okay. Enough. Okay. Yeah, I think all of us will be happy with the end of Corona. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Navya.
I have something to show.
Okay, show me. Wow, what a lovely flower. And did you make that rainbow yourself?
Yeah, that's my joint.
Wow.
This is my other one.
Is that a T-Rex? Is it a flying T-Rex?
Dragon.
That you're right, it is a dragon. Ooh.
Right. We have the kids of Naveen Bothra sharing their tree.
Yes, I see. I see. Wow. Wow, you colored that very quickly. And you've written so many things.
This is my mama's.
Oh, thank you for showing us. Okay.
So what do you have kids of Naveen on the tree? Just read it out for all.
Patience, plan, dance, friends, family, music, art, love, passion, healthy food, gratitude, determination, kindness.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So we have kids of Nath who have done their work, Nath and Gayatri.
Yes.
You have written.
Okay, tell me. What do you want to show me?
I finished. Can I read the words?
Yes, of course you can.
Chat, color, friends, chocolates, ice cream, juice, water, bird, plant, game, joy, health, craft, TV, Ludo, food, happy, read, draw, fun, run, Sun.
Thank you for sharing. I love that there's lots of food there. I love food as well. Chocolates and ice cream are very important. Yes, I agree.
Ma'am,
Yes. Who's this?
did you write your own family tree?
You know what? I didn't, but I should. I will, and I'll share it with you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And I want to tell you something.
Yes.
This is a very hard question for you
Okay.
about
Mm.
this.
Yes.
This is my monster toy.
Okay.
Okay. I'll tell you the name of it.
Okay.
Okay. I will spell it.
Mm.
M-U-T-O, Muto.
Okay.
And it doesn't eat normal food.
Oh, what does it eat?
Metal.
Oh, wow. It has very strong teeth then to eat the
No, it
metal.
doesn't have teeth. Its stomach is underneath here.
Ah, so it has a strong stomach then.
And it
So
can
it
even
doesn't-
fly.
So it doesn't bite its food, it just swallows it?
It doesn't eat people. If the people are only troubling, it eats.
So it eats metal and it eats troubling people.
Kind of.
Kind of. Sometimes. Not all the time. What is your difficult question for me?
This is the difficultest question.
Yes, tell me.
My monster has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs.
6 legs. Your monster has 6 what? Can you say that again?
Legs. 6 legs.
Okay, it has 6 legs. Uh-huh.
Okay, we have someone from Vinod Rati's family.
Yes.
So basically,
Hello, teacher. I will show you my tree.
Okay.
Can I share what's written?
Yes.
Just one second. Those who are not talking can mute themselves. I can hear a lot of background noise.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I've done that. I've muted them. Yes. Tell me about your tree of strength.
Can I read what I wrote on the
Of
leaf?
course you can. Of course you can.
Friends, family, kids, creativity, travel, love, rains, art and craft, exercise, dancing, food, music, movies, cooking, and reading.
Yeah, they're all so
My
important.
mom also helped me.
Oh, that's very nice of her to help you. Thank you for sharing.
Can I talk about my tree?
Yes. Tell me.
This is my tree.
Mm-hmm.
It has art. It has plants. It fun, food, family, keyboard, music, literacy, Lego, keyboard, love, water, air, and it has food. It has keyboard. It has come on, and it has cycling. And it has chess, and that's it.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and I have one more thing.
Yes.
It has Alexa.
You like Alexa a lot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can I ask the adults to fill up this feedback form that I will send to Mr. Mahesh just now? And hang on.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
This is my tree.
just 1 minute. I will be right with you. Okay, Mr. Mahesh, I've just sent you the link to the feedback form. It's not a very long form. It's quite short. So if you could share it on your WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Yeah. And can the adults take maybe 10 minutes to fill it out so that I can have everybody's responses and then I can close the form? Okay. So I'll let you know when 10 minutes are up. If that's okay.
I've shared the form in the group.
Okay, thank you. Okay, somebody wanted to show me their tree.
Me.
Yes.
This is my tree.
Identify your name.
My name is Sargam Agarwal, and
Hi.
I'm the daughter of Ankur Agarwal. On my leaves, there's written brothers. My brothers give me love, and my mama gives me strength, and my brothers also make me happy. And my father gives me makes me powerful, and my grandmother gives me knowledge and love.
That is so sweet. Thank you for sharing, Sargam. I love it. Did you use watercolors on your tree?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. Lovely. So beautiful. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you. I'm also very fond of art and craft.
I can see that. Yeah, I can really see that. So good to hear.
Show mine.
You want to show yours? Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Can I
Yes.
my tree?
Yes,
Good
go ahead.
morning, teacher.
Just tell what you wrote on it.
Mama I wrote playing with toys, toy car. I like studying, playing with my sister, and music.
What about ice cream? I thought you also like ice cream. Last time your dad told me.
No? What food do you like eating?
I like only a little bit.
Okay.
But my mother didn't brought ice cream because she won't allow it.
What kind of music do you like?
I like The Earth Is My Home.
Okay. I don't think I've heard that one. I'll have to check it out.
The earth is my home. I promise to keep it healthy and beautiful. I will love the land, the air, the water, and all living creatures. I will be a defender of my planet, united with friends. I will save the earth, united with friends. I promise to keep it united.
Not fully, just half, but it's not that big.
It's okay, you can
It's
say.
only less.
I'll save the earth. I will save the earth.
Awesome.
When I finished.
We
That
have
is such a
Sham
lovely song.
Krishnan's son who wants to share history. Sham Krishnan's son, unmute yourself.
Thank you for sharing and singing that lovely song.
Yes, Sham Krishnan's son.
Yes, I will just pin the video here so we can all see. Ooh, lovely.
Read it out, Sham Krishnan's son. Identify your name.
Akshay.
Hi, Akshay. Welcome. What did you write in your tree?
I wrote friends, family, music, God, sports, sister, watching TV, ice cream, Zoom, scissors, game, what, cricket.
Mm. Thank you for sharing. Cricket is very important. Do you have a lot of friends to play cricket with in your compound? Yeah, that's nice that you have that. Thank you for sharing.
Ma'am, can I say now?
Yes.
Sandeep Shah's daughter wants to share her tree. Sandeep Shah's daughter. Identify your name, Sandeep Shah's daughter, and then say.
My name is Siddhisha.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Siddhi. Go ahead.
My friend
Mm-hmm.
is my father.
Okay.
And my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to do art
Mm-hmm.
and dancing.
Well, that's lovely. I used to love dancing when I was younger. What kind of dance do you do?
Bollywood dancing.
Bollywood dancing is lots of fun. Thank you for sharing your tree. It looks lovely.
All the parents, we have about 3 minutes for you to complete your feedback form. I urge you to please fill up the feedback form because that's very critical for Aishwarya to provide an overall assessment. So kindly requesting all of you to please fill up the feedback form which was shared in the group.
Yeah, that would be
Finished.
Who is this? Okay. Can you wait for
I'm from
1 minute?
Akhil Shaha.
I know. Neeraj Varia's daughter is waiting there with her artwork. She's been waiting for a while. So we're gonna look at hers and then we'll come to you, okay?
Come closer to the screen, Neeraj
Thank you.
Warrior's daughter.
Yes, I will pin this.
Come closer. Come closer.
You want to show me your painting? Okay. Can I see your tree first? Can I see what it looks like?
No, it's okay, Neeraj. We would like to see whatever she has done, even if it's a half complete stuff.
It's okay.
Excuse me, my
Yes.
father can't see any form on the BCCIA Family Day group. Do we just have to send our pictures and write the name?
I will send your father the link. He is always a special person for me. I will send him specially, separately in his WhatsApp.
No, I have received, sir. I have received.
Thank you, Ankur. Thank you.
Yes, okay. I see that you drew your tree.
Yeah, Neeraj Warrior's daughter, please continue.
What did you
What's your
write
name, buddy?
inside? Mm-hmm. 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 What do you like watching on TV? Okay. Thank you for sharing. I love how long your hair is. It's like Rapunzel's hair. So beautiful. I wish I had hair like that. But my hair is only this long. It's quite short. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Jagdish's daughter. You want to show me? Wow. A very long, tall tree. What did you write inside the leaves? Did you write something?
Daughter, Jagdish, can you bring her closer to the camera and make her talk because we can't listen to her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Family. Yeah, very, very important. Thank you for sharing. I love your tree.
You know, Aishu, I wish someone had written BCICI. We're still waiting for that.
Well, maybe you can write it on your tree because that gives you strength.
My son says my one leaf is empty. I would write BCICI in that.
There we go. You've made space for that over there. You made space for that community.
Mahesh, I think should be asking the members in ESCOM to write. Then they would have written BCICAI maybe. This is all the kids. So kids like no, you're taking their father's, daddy's time or mama's time by not playing, allowing them to play with you. BCICAI is doing. That's why they are not writing BCICAI's name.
Oh.
So that's why we are bringing the kids together. You know, we don't want any complaints from the spouse or the kids saying that, you know, you don't do anything for us.
Very true.
Right.
Okay,
I'm just going to ask all the kids to come in front of their respective cameras, hold their artwork below their neck and show it so that we can take a photo of the screen. Don't hold it over your face. Hold it below your neck. Don't hold it over your face, just below your neck. Those who have muted or not kept their video on a clear mode, please show your videos as well. I'm going to count 3, 2.
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
Yeah, we are going to ask everyone to hold their artwork in front of them below their neck so that we can take a picture.
Hello, I finished.
Okay,
Yes.
so can you hold
going
up
to now
artwork so we can all take a picture of it?
We have a lot of
Yeah.
participants who have not kept their video on.
But I haven't finished the whole.
That's okay. How much ever you finish.
I'm going to count 3, 2, and 1. Hold it till I say it's over. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. We have few more. Hold a second.
Is my token? Is my token up?
Right. So those who had their videos on, their photos has been captured. Those who chose not to, only their names have been captured. Right, Aishu, I think we are done with our 10 minutes of feedback request.
Yes, I think so. I'm going to just
Can I
check.
tell mine?
Just 1 second. I
Can I
have
read mine?
received, just 1 second. I'm just looking at something. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right there with you. I've received 8 responses so far. So I don't think everyone has had time to look at the form. How about I keep it open for another hour and then I can stop taking responses so that everybody has time to go and look at the form.
No problem, Aishu. I mean, if there's anything in the form that you need to come back and tell the participants, maybe because this particular activity of ours goes on till the evening with intermittent breaks.
Yeah.
So I can, if you can come back and, share your feedback on that.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, I see on your schedule that your next event is only at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
So maybe I can keep the form open for another hour so everybody can relax and have time to look at it.
Sure.
Yeah. Someone
I request Raghu to please take over the charge. Raghunathan.
Ma'am?
Yeah, okay. Someone wants to show me their tree. After I see the last tree, then we will have to end this.
Ma'am, I'm Akisha's daughter.
Yeah, I've seen your tree. I've seen your tree when we were taking the picture. I love the colors. Yeah.
Raghu, can you unmute yourself?
Thank you for showing me your tree. I love your red shirt. It's very cool.
Yes,
yes, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
Thank you, Ms. Aishu, for the wonderful session.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you so much for giving me your time and your attention, your precious time and your precious attention, for listening to what I had to say and for engaging in the art making. And thank you, kids, for showing me all your trees and all your strengths. And I really hope it's very, very nice. And I
should
hope that
let you go. Raghu has something to say. Raghu, can you?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Aishu, for the wonderful session. Hope kids and parents all enjoyed this different session. May I invite Chairperson C.A. Magesh Kumar to present our gratitude of appreciation to Ms. Aishu.
Oh, thank you.
So Aishu, this is the least we can do through virtual sessions. And so now you know how did I use the picture you sent me yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, I can send you across the PDF through emails, no problem.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I need to also highlight, the assistance, of course, I would say, introducing this concept to me to none other than Dr. Brahmaraji. I mean, she's the one who told me that you have been specializing in this particular field of therapy, and it would be good to get an introduction to the fraternity, the Chartered Accountants fraternity. So thank you, Brahmaraji, if she is listening, or you can pass on our best regards to her.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay,
she's
Ravi.
currently at work, so she's not listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes, Ravi,
Magesh.
carry on.
Thank you so much.
Let us have a break for an hour and enjoy the lunch with your family, of course, at your own cost. With another much better. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. I know. I will see the picture of your tree. Okay?
No, do you know what is written?
No, I don't know. But maybe you can send a message and I'll see it later, okay? Thank you everybody for sharing.
All of you can
My
post
pleasure.
your tree picture on the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Yes,
With your
thank
names.
you